Hey, this is LJ and welcome back to Tech Dissection. So I recently decided to go with an LG 48-inch OLED TV as my primary monitor. Mainly because of how great it looks when using my gaming PC. However, I was a little worried at first about how it would work on my Mac, which I use as my primary desktop. In all my research, people really only talked about how great this TV is for gaming. But no one really discussed how using a 48-inch TV will affect your day-to-day use of a computer. So in this video, I'm going to ignore all the gaming aspects of using this TV because that's already been discussed in length in other videos and articles. Instead, I want to focus on how to make the most of this large screen in daily computer use. First, let's talk about some of the problems that can arise from using a large OLED monitor, namely burn-in, and how to mitigate those problems. One of my main fears with using an OLED TV is the potential risk of burn-in with static parts of a computer. So I took a few steps in order to mitigate that risk. Two of the main static elements in a Mac is going to be your menu bar and your dock. And so the first thing I did was automatically hide those elements. If you go into your settings app and then click on the dock and menu bar, you can go in and automatically hide the dock and your menu bar. And that will keep those static elements off of your screen, saving you from potential burn-in. Now this will require you to scroll to the edge in order to access your menu bar and your dock. And it took a little bit of time for me to get used to this, but in the end, I found that I really like this because it gives you just that extra little bit of room in order to really maximize your screen. The other main static element for the Mac is the wallpaper. So I decided to use a program that is able to cycle through different wallpapers. For me, I'm using 24-hour wallpaper, and I know there's other ones out there, but you can get a large selection of different wallpapers, and then you can set it to automatically change at a set amount of time. So normally I keep this at every 5 minutes just to keep my burn-in risk low. Right now I just have it set to 8 hours for the purposes of making this video. So with that, when you minimize all your windows, you're left with no static images on your screen anymore. The other problem I've had with this panel is text clarity. Now that's a little hard to show in this video, but essentially I came from a 27-inch 4K monitor and then got this 48-inch OLED. And I found that the text was just a little bit blurry, and it took a little bit for my eyes to finally adjust to the level of clarity of this OLED monitor. And I mean, you're just going to get that in general from going from a smaller screen to a larger screen. But from what I've read, there's just some issues with how the OLED panel is designed compared to how traditional computer monitors are designed. That leads to some text blurriness. It's not a huge issue and definitely not a deal breaker for me, but it does take just a little bit of time to get used to. Now the next major consideration is how to use your screen real estate efficiently, i.e. getting all your windows into proper locations very easily. A lot of the software solutions out there are pretty basic. You have popular ones like Magnet that are able to do basic functions like snapping a window to the left or right or into a corner. But for such a large screen, you really want to take advantage of your screen real estate and not be limited to just a few configurations, and you want to be able to really customize it. And so I went and sought for a better software solution that would allow me to really customize how my screen looked. There are a few options out there, but the one that I found worked the best for me was the software called Mosaic, which is by Lightpillar. I really like this software because there's easy drag and drop options that you can use. And then you can also use quick keyboard shortcuts as well. And it just makes it very easy and simple to get all your windows into preset layouts. And I particularly like this view because I can put my music to the right, have a nice big window here, a secondary window here, and then a few other options up top here. And then if I want to change it up, maybe I want to put my screen into thirds, so I can take my different windows here, and then I can line them up appropriately, or I can go up here, and then let's open, say, Google Chrome, and we can drag that up here. Hit the wrong one right there. And just like that, my screen is easily into thirds. It's just so easy to move my screen around and put it in different locations in order to make the best use of my computer screen. And so if you notice, when I go to do this drag and drop, I've already gone into the settings and I have created all these custom templates here. And it's fairly simple to do. So if I go into the Mosaic preferences, here you can go ahead and design any sort of window that you want, and you can go up to a 24 by 24 grid. So it's very customizable. And then you can also assign whatever shortcut you want to it. So if we go up here, you can see this is the keyboard shortcut I assigned to this particular screen. And I believe it's also possible for you to assign certain apps or programs to open up in very specific locations on the screen. I just haven't done that myself yet. And then if, say, you have a program open and none of your presets really matches what you want to do with that program, you can drag it to this window here. And then this will let you automatically create a new placement for your program. And so you can put it wherever you want. So I found this program to be a very effective solution in order to very quickly maximize your screen real estate and get those windows exactly where you want them. I'd say a program like this is absolutely essential if you want to use any sort of large screen as your primary monitor. One last thing I want to touch on as well is I've noticed some people have issues with getting headaches or eye irritation when using such a large bright monitor and sitting so close to it. For that, I went into the TV settings and I turned down its brightness to a reasonable level, and I personally have had no issues with this whatsoever. So those are my tips on how to use a large monitor efficiently for an everyday computer. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it useful, please remember to like or subscribe.